Psychology reveals a trap that can make you. You can read books, understand complex ideas, win arguments, explain problems better than everyone around you, and still make terrible decisions with your own life. You can sound disciplined without being disciplined. Sound confident without taking action. Sound knowledgeable without ever using what you know. And the most dangerous part is that your brain can reward you for. That's why some people always have the perfect explanation for why their career isn't moving, why their money isn't growing, why their business hasn't started, or why their relationships keep failing. They understand everything, except what they need to change. If you've ever felt extremely smart while explaining what you're going to do, but strangely helpless when it was finally time to do it, this video may feel uncomfortable. Because there are. And the final sign is the most dangerous because you can spend years protecting an image of yourself instead of actually becoming better. The first sign is that you talk about discipline but constantly miss deadlines. You talk about saving money but keep spending impulsively. You tell people you're going to start exercising, build a business, or change your life, but tomorrow becomes next week, and next week becomes next month. Psychology calls the conflict between your beliefs and behavior. And when your actions don't match your self-image, your brain often creates explanations that make you feel better instead of forcing you to change. But there's another trap. You use complicated language, constantly mention what you've read, correct people over tiny details, and turn ordinary conversations into opportunities to prove you're the smartest person in the room. Then comes the third sign. You spend 30 minutes proving a stranger wrong online while your own goals remain untouched. But wait, because the next sign is even harder to recognize. You watch another video, read another book, research another business idea, and tell yourself you're preparing. But learning feels safe. Action doesn't. The moment you act, reality gets a vote. And your perfect theory can finally be tested. This is where the remaining signs become much more personal. You can spend months researching investing, business, fitness, or productivity without taking the first uncomfortable step. This is where analysis paralysis can turn intelligence into avoidance. At some point, more information isn't making you smarter. It's helping you delay the moment when reality can prove you wrong. You constantly notice other people's flaws. They're lazy, they're insecure, they're arrogant, they're attention-seeking. But what if some of the traits that irritate you most in other people also exist in you? Projection is a psychological defense mechanism in which unwanted thoughts or traits can be attributed to someone else. Criticizing another person can give you a temporary feeling of superiority, while self-awareness forces you to confront yourself. You turn every conversation into a lecture. You constantly mention your achievements. You feel uncomfortable when someone knows more than you. You need to have the final word. What looks like confidence can sometimes be an attempt to hide insecurity. Real confidence says, I don't need to prove myself. Insecurity says, I need you to believe I'm impressive. And that leads to the seventh, and most dangerous, sign. You avoid questions because you're afraid they'll make you look stupid. You reject feedback because criticism feels personal. You refuse to admit mistakes because being wrong threatens your identity. A fixed mindset makes ability feel like something you must constantly prove, while a growth mindset treats ability as something you can develop. Think about that. The person terrified of looking stupid often stays stuck longer than the person comfortable being a beginner. Because beginners make mistakes, but they also learn. So maybe the real question isn't, am I intelligent? It's because intelligence without action becomes potential. Knowledge without application becomes entertainment. And confidence without self-awareness becomes ego. So if you recognized yourself in even one of these signs, don't immediately defend yourself. Don't explain it away. Don't tell yourself the video doesn't apply to you. Instead, ask a harder question, because real intelligence isn't about always having the answer. If you want more videos about money psychology, human behavior, decision-making, wealth, and the mental patterns that shape your life, subscribe to Wealth Theory. And if this video made you think about someone you know, don't just send it to them. Send it to yourself first. Because the easiest person to convince that you're already doing enough is you.